Hey there, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the bent over hamstring stretch, and obviously going to be doing this standing. Now this is an incredible stretch for your hamstrings, and I highly recommend you guys do it. At the end of the video, we're going to be talking about some of the common mistakes that I want to make sure you guys avoid, that way you can get the most out of this exercise when you do it. So first thing you're going to want to do is stand around shoulder width apart, depending on your flexibility, but I highly recommend that you start off there. That way you can kind of work your way in as your hamstrings begin to stretch better and better. And then what you want to make sure you're doing is bending over and touching your toes with your legs straight. You do not want to bend your elbows. Also make sure that you're breathing out and you're taking nice big breaths while you're doing this stretch. That way you're going to feel even better stretching your hamstrings when you do that instead of just holding your breath. But before we continue with more tips, here's a word from today's video sponsor.
I'm today's video sponsor, and if you'd like help losing fat or gaining muscle, there are a few ways I can help you down below. Either set up a free consultation with us, purchase one of our free affiliate links, or purchase one of our instant access affordable training programs. Can't wait to be of service to you. Now let's get back to the rest of the video.
Now this is an incredibly simple stretch. I mean, I can't really explain more on what not to do or what to do, but one thing I would say is that hamstring flexibility is incredibly important, and I had to learn this the hard way. I've never been injured, but I definitely have tweaked my hamstring a few times, and I highly recommend that you guys really focus on hamstring flexibility as well as quad flexibility, but hamstring flexibility for sure, because it really can affect the way you squat and deadlift and jump and run and things like that. So make sure that you're stretching at least 10 to 15 minutes a day, every single day. That way you can minimize your chances of getting injured in the future. Now, obviously, I put out various videos on different types of hamstring stretches based on whether you have lower back pain, whether or not you want to do one leg at a time, whether or not you want a beginner's version, and things like that. But this one's a very simple, very straightforward stretch. Now, assuming that you can touch your toes here, okay, great. You're definitely hitting a good baseline. But if you wanted to, let's say you couldn't do that, open your legs wider and slightly point the toes out if you have to, but if not, keep your feet straight. Go wider though, and you're going to find that you can actually do the stretch a lot more comfortably. And if you go wider, I recommend you just aim for the floor in front of you instead of trying to touch each foot. If this is too easy for you, then I highly recommend you guys bring your feet in closer together. You're going to feel a better stretch. Now, as you're doing this, one key thing is that you actually think about arching your lower back as much as you can. Trust me, you're going to feel a way better stretch. Now, what this is going to do is going to create an anterior pelvic tilt, which means that your hips are going to tilt forward, which means that you're going to be able to stretch your hamstrings a lot better. So that's what I recommend you guys do. Do it for around, 10 to 15 seconds, then slowly start to increase the time every other week or so. Now, here are some common mistakes. We don't want to be bending our knees. This is obviously going to take tension off of the hamstrings and make it less effective. Next thing you want to make sure you avoid is not trying. Actually go down, guys. And then make sure that you do not point your toes out excessively. And then lastly, what you want to make sure you're doing is not keeping your head up. Keep your chin tucked.